Yes, we are live. We're gonna see if we DAF in under 30 minutes. Okay, Masechet Tanit, we're starting at the bottom of 4b. That's DAF Dalet Amud Aleph for you yeshiva students. Amar lahu Shmuel, Puku v'imru leila Abba, achar she'asito kodesh taseh chol. אמר שמואל מתחיל במוספין ומנחה ופוסק בערבית בשחרית וחוזר ומתחיל במוספין. Shmuel said to those who reported Rav's explanation, go tell Abba, meaning Rav's name, the following objection. Here's the objection. After you have rendered the first day of the 8 days of assembly sanctified, should you defile it by treating it as though it's not a festival day? Back up. Gemara asks, and we in the diaspora have 2 festival days. What do we do with regard to the beginning of the mention of rain, given the uncertainty concerning the 8th day of assembly, which might in reality be the 7th day of Sukkot? The Gemara answers that Rav said one begins to mention rain in the additional prayers on the 8th day, the first day of the 8 days of assembly. The additional prayers of the 8th day. One begins to mention rain in the additional prayers of the 8th day, the first day of the 8 days of assembly. That makes no sense whatsoever. So let's put that aside. One temporarily ceases, okay, maybe the Hebrew will help. When we have two second day Yom Tov, Amar Rav Matchil b'Musafin. We start with Musaf, b'Mincha Arvit v'Shacharit. So Rav said we begin to mention rain in the additional prayers in Musaf, in the Musaf prayers, and we cease on the afternoon prayer of the 8th day, continuing through the evening and morning prayers of the 9th day. And finally, one again resumes mentioning in the additional prayers of the 9th day Simchat Torah. Something wrong here, something terribly wrong. Maybe I'm just not getting it, but just in plain English, you begin to mention rain in the additional prayers of the 8th day. How could the Steinsaltz Koran Talmud go on to say, meaning that's the first day of the 8 days of assembly? No, it just said the 8th day. And you temporarily cease, it's a mistake, I guess. And one temporarily ceases the practice on the afternoon prayer of the 8th day. Continuing through, okay, so that's all messed up. And so Shmuel said, that's messed up. Go tell Abba that you have rendered the first day of the 8th day of assembly. Oh, the 8th and 9th days are holy. So they're both Yom Tov Sheni. So if you rendered the first day sanctified, you're going to defile it by saying it's not a festival day, the 8th day. Taseh chol. Amar Shmuel matchil b'musafin b'mincha. Rabbi Shmuel says one begins to mention in the additional prayers and also in the afternoon prayer of the 8th day, the first day of the 8th day of assembly, and temporarily ceases the practice in the afternoon prayer of the 8th day, continuing through the evening and morning prayers of the 9th day of Simchat Torah. Okay, this makes more sense. And finally, one again resumes mentioning rain in the additional prayers of the 9th day of Simchat Torah. Rav Amar, Kevan shematchil shuv enu posek, v'ken Amar Rav Sheshet, Kevan shematchil shuv enu posek. Rav has said an alternative suggestion. Once he has started to mention rain, he no longer stops. He continues to mention rain consistently until the summer. And so too, Rav Sheshet said once he has started to mention rain, he no longer stops. In other words, one has begun to mention rain in his prayers on the additional prayer of the 8th day of assembly. Simchas Torah, we start praying for rain, and you can continue uninterrupted all the way to Pesach, even in the diaspora. Okay, Amar, Ba'af, Rav Hadarbed, Amar Rav Hananel, Amar Rav, Moneh Esrim v'chad Yom kederak shemoneh 10 yamim merosh Hashanah ad Yom Kippurim. Umatchil, v'kevan shehitchil shuv enu posek, v'hilchata kevan shehitchil shuv enu posek. So the Gemara adds, and even Rav retracted his previously stated opinion, as Rav Hananel said that Rav said one counts 21 days from Rosh Hashanah just as one counts 10 days from Rosh Hashanah until Yom Kippur. And after the 21 days, one starts to mention rain, and once he has started, he no longer stops. So the Gemara concludes, and the halacha is, in accordance with the opinion that once one started to mention rain, he no longer stops. Next Mishnah. Ad matai sholim et geshamim, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Ad she'avor ha-Pesach, Rabbi Meir Omer, Ad she'yotze Nisan, shene'amar v'yored lechem geshem moreh malkosh barishon. Until when does one request rain? Rabbi Yehuda says we request rain until Passover is past. Rabbi Meir says until the month of Nisan is ended. As it is stated, and he causes to come down for the year of the rain, the first rain and the last rain in the first month. That's from the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 23. Since the verse states that it rains in Nisan, the first month, this indicates that the entire month is considered part of the rainy season. Gemara. Amar le Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, Yoreh b'Nisan, Yoreh b'Marcheshvan hu. Ditanan Yoreh b'Marcheshvan u'malkosh b'Nisan. Amar le Hachi Amar Rabbi Yochanan, B'mei Yoel ben Petuel, Nitkayam mikra ze, diktiv be Yeter hagazam machal arbe. Yeter hagazam machal arbe. Ota shana yatsa adar v'lo yardu geshamim. Yarda lehem revi'ah rishona be'echad b'Nisan. So that means Rav Nachman said to Rav Yitzchak, is the first rain in Nisan? The first rain is in Marcheshvan. As we learned in a Braita, the first rain is in Marcheshvan and the last rain is in Nisan. Marcheshvan, right at the first month after the holidays. Last rain is in Nisan, right at the beginning of the spring, before Passover. Rabbi Yitzchak said to Rav Nachman that Rabbi Yochanan said as follows. This verse was fulfilled in the days of the prophet Joel ben Petuel. Now you know what the prophet Joel's father's name is. And it was fulfilled in the days of Joel ben Petuel, in a year concerning which it is written, that which the palmer worm has left, the locust has eaten. Yeter hagazam achal ha'arbeh. And that which the locust has left, the cankerworm has eaten, and that which the cankerworm has left, the caterpillar has eaten. First chapter of Joel, in the beginning, fourth verse. When no crops remained, and that year the month of Adar ended, and still no rain had fallen, the rain of the first rainy season fell for them on the first of Nisan. I can't help, I wanted to just read this, very fast with no additional notes, but I just have to talk about the locust. The arbe. This term locust refers to a group of insects that are found worldwide. The common name generally refers to the group of short-horned grasshoppers that often increase greatly in numbers and migrate long distances in destructive swarms. The sporadic appearance and disappearance of the locust has bewildered people throughout history. And even today, there are only theories available to explain this phenomenon. Locusts are edible insects and considered a delicacy in some countries. Where I come from, the locust is a delicacy. We eat it together with the tarantula and the cockroach. Okay. Please, I'm not looking for any locusts. I don't want any locusts in my food. No bugs in my food. Okay, locusts are edible insects. When the Yemenites, they have a Masora. Okay, they know exactly which locust is kosher, and they fry it up like French fries. Okay, there have been references to their consumption as food throughout history, and some species are permitted for consumption according to Torah law. Close parentheses, back to the Gemara. Amar lahem navi Yisrael tsu'u v'ziru amar lahu mishi yesh lo kav chitim o kabayim su'urim yochlenu v'yichyeh o yizra'enu v'yamut. Amar lahem afal piken tsu'u v'ziru na'aseh lahem nes v'nitkala lahem ma shebaktalin u'ma shebochore nemalim. Masha B'Katalin, what's in the walls, and Masha B'Choreh Nemalim, and that which in the ant holes. So the first rain fell, and the prophet said to the Jews, "Go out and sow." They said to him, "One who has 1 kav of wheat or 2 kav of barley left, should he eat them and live off of them, or should he sow them and die and starve before it grows?" Given the improbability of the crop's growth under these circumstances, it appears wasteful to plant them rather than consume what remains. So the prophet said to them, "Nevertheless, go out and sow." A miracle occurred for them, and they discovered wheat and barley seeds that were hidden in the walls and that were concealed in the ant holes. יצאו וזרעו שני ושלישי ורביעי וירדה להם רביעה שנייה במרחשוון בחמישה בניסן. הקריבו עומר ב16 בניסן, נמצאת תבואה הגדילה ב6 חודשים, גדלה ב11 יום. נמצא עומר הקרב מתבואה של 6 חודשים, קרב מתבואה של 11 יום. So they went out and sowed the second, third, and fourth days of Nisan, and the rain fell in the second rainy season, fell in the rain of the second rainy season fell for them on the 5th day of Nisan. The crops grew so quickly that they were able to sacrifice the Omer offering in its proper time on the 16th day of Nisan. Consequently, grain that had normally grown in 6 months grew in 11 days, and consequently the Omer that is generally sacrificed from the grain that grows in the 6 months was sacrificed in that year from grain that grew in 11 days. Wow. ועל אותו הדור הוא אומר, הזורעים בדימה ברינה יקצורו. הלוך ילכו וכל נושא משך חזרה. מהי הלוך ילכו וכל נושא משך חזרה? אמר רבי יהודה, שור כשהוא חורש, הולך ובוכה. בחזירתו אוכל חזיז מן התל, וזהו בו יבוא ברינה. With regard to the generation, the verse says, those who sow in tears shall reap. With regard to that generation, the verse says, those who sow in tears shall reap with joy, joyous songs. Though he goes on his way weeping, who bears the measure of his seed, he shall come home with joy, bearing his sheaves. Psalm 126. The Gemara asks, what is the meaning of the expression, though he goes on his way weeping, who bears the measure of seed? Rabbi Yehuda said, an ox, when it plowed at that time, it went on its way weeping and lamenting its labor. And yet upon its return, through the same furrow, it was able to eat young shoots, it's chaziz, the young shoots of crops that had already sprouted from the furrow. This is the meaning of the phrase, he shall come home with songs of joy. The chaziz, according to the Aruch and the Gaonim, the word is chazin, which means tender shoots, meaning bright green stalks of grain. Mai noseh alumotav, amar Rav Chisda ve'amre la b'matnita tana kaneh zeret, shibolet zaratayim. The Gemara further asks, what is the meaning of the expression bearing his sheaves? Rav Chisda said, some say it was taught in the Braita. Rav Chisda said, and some say it's in the Braita, that the stalk of the crops that was one span, this means the thumb and the little finger, while the ear itself was 2 spans. That is to say, the ear was twice as long as the stalk, where usually the stalk is 3 or 4 times longer than the ear. Next sugya. Amar le Rav Nachman le Rabbi Yitzchak, mai diktiv ki kara Hashem l'ra'av v'gam ba el haaretz 7 shanim, v'hanach 7 shanim, mayachul. Incidental to the interpretation of these verses, the Gemara cites a series of verses, starting with the topic of hunger, that also involve questions that Rav Nachman posed to Rav Yitzchak. Rav Nachman said to Rav Yitzchak, what is the meaning of that which is written, for the Lord has called upon a famine, and it shall also come upon the land 7 years, in 2 Kings chapter 8. Specifically in those 7 years, what did they eat? Let's open aside. In those 7 years, what did they eat? Although we find in other instances of famine in the Bible, including the famous 7 years of famine in the time of Joseph, Rav Nachman singled out the famine that afflicted the people in the days of Yerocham, king of Israel, Jehoram, Yerocham, king of Israel, much after the days of Joseph, in the days of the prophets, for his question with regard to what people ate during the period of scarcity. One explanation is that the divine decree concerning this famine was carried out in its full severity and for its entire intended duration. And according with the verse, for the Lord has called a famine, and it shall also come upon the land for 7 years. Back to the Talmud. Rabbi Amar le Hachi Amar Rabbi Yochanan Shana Rishona Achlu Masha Babatim, Shniya Achlu Masha Basadot, Shlishit Basar Behema Tohora, Revit Basar Behema Tmeya, Chamishit Basar Shkatzim Uramasim, Shishit basar b'nehem uvenotehem. Shvi'it basar zoro'otehem l'kayem ma shene'amar ish basar zoro yochelu. This is a very horrible situation of famine. It's going to start with normal eating, and in the sixth year, it's going to turn into cannibalism. Rabbi Yitzchak said that Rabbi Yitzchak said to Rabbi Nachman that Rabbi Yochanan said as follows: in the first year, and we're talking about in the days of Yeroham, in the second book of Kings, chapter 8. In the first year, they ate that which they had in their houses. In the second year, they ate what they had in the fields. In the third year, they had the meat of the kosher animals. In the fourth year, they had to meet the remaining non-kosher animals. In the fifth year, they ate the meat of repugnant creatures and creeping animals, bugs and so forth, any insect they found. In the sixth year, they ate the flesh of their sons and daughters. And in the seventh year, they ate the flesh of their own arms. To fulfill that which is stated, each man shall eat the flesh of his own arm, in the 9th chapter of Isaiah. Amar le Rav Nachman le Rabbi Yitzchak, my diktiv bekirbecha kadosh velo avov be'ir, mishum di bekirbecha kadosh lo avov be'ir. Amar le hachi amar Rabbi Yochanan amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu lo avov b'Yerushalayim shel mala ad shavo Yerushalayim shel mata. And Rav Nachman said to Rabbi Yitzchak, what is the meaning of that which is written? It is sacred in your midst, and I will not enter the city, in Hosea 11. This verse is puzzling. Because it is sacred in your midst, because it is sacred in your midst, God will not enter the city. The city is sacred, God won't go in there. Rabbi Yitzchak said to Rav Nachman that Rabbi Yochanan said the verse should be understood as follows: the Holy One, blessed be He, said, I will not enter Jerusalem above in the heaven until I enter Jerusalem on earth below, at the time of the redemption, when it will be sacred in your midst. Okay, we have some time. We have a little bit of time left. Okay. So I shall not enter Jerusalem above. Rabbi Steinsaltz provides the following note. This is his Talmud I'm reading from. You should know that. One interpretation of the concept of Jerusalem above is that Jerusalem and the temple signify the refined matters of the intellect, as corresponding to the earthly Eretz Yisrael. As corresponding to the earthly Eretz Yisrael, there are spiritual levels located in the lofty worlds. That's the Rashba, the great Spanish early scholar in the 10th century or whatnot, 11th century. So the Rashba said what? That what's Jerusalem above? The Jerusalem and the temple signify the refined matters of the intellect, corresponding to the earthly Eretz Yisrael. And corresponding to the temple in Jerusalem, there are lofty matters of the intellect. The earthly Jerusalem and the temple are the refined matters of the intellect, as corresponding to the earthly Eretz Yisrael. Of this, there were also spiritual levels located in higher worlds. So with regard to the interpretation of the verse itself, some say that the verse should be read as an expression of wonder. Since your midst shall be sacred, shall I not enter the city? That's the Maharsha and the Sfat Emet. They further explain that the verse is meant as a source of comfort for the Jewish people in exile, that it is almost as if the Almighty Himself is in exile also, and that He will not enter Jerusalem on high until the Jews are redeemed on earth. That's the Iyun Yaakov. So the Gemara asks, Mi ika Yerushalayim lamala in diktiv Yerushalayim habnuya ke'ir shechubra layachdav. The Gemara says, and is there such a place as Jerusalem above? The Gemara says, yes. It is written, Jerusalem built up a city unified together. Psalm 122. The term unified indicates that there are two cities of Jerusalem, a heavenly one and an earthly one, which are bound together. So Amar le Rav Nachman le Rabbi Yitzchak, my dichtiv uvata uva'achat yivaru v'kasulu musar habalim etzu. Uvata yivaru v'yichsalu musar Havalim etzu. Amar le hachi amar Rabbi Yochanan achati shemavaeret rashayim bagehinnom. Mahi avodah zarah. Diktiv hacha musar havalim etzu. V'ketiv hatam hevel hema maaseh ta'atuim. So Rav Nachman said to Rabbi Yitzchak, what is the meaning of that which is written? And with one they are brutish and foolish. The teaching of their vanity is a stock. 10th chapter Jeremiah, verse 8. Rabbi Yitzchak said to Rav Nachman that Rabbi Yochanan said as follows, there's one transgression that causes the wicked to burn in Gehenna. What is this transgression? Idol worship. This can be proven by a verbal analogy. It is written here, the teachings of their vanity, hevel, is a stock. And it is written there, with regard to idols, their vanity, hevel, is a work of delusion. Shukula kishtayim umaynihu avodah zara v'ketiv kishtayim raot asa ami oti avu mekor mayim chayim lachatzov lehem beorot nishbarim. וכתיב בו כי עברו יהיה כתיים וראו וכדר שילכו והתבוננו מאוד. ההמיר גוי אלוהים והם לא אלוהים ועמי המיר כבודו בלא יועיל. So, Rabbi Yochanan said as follows, they have violated one transgression that is equivalent to two. And what is that sin? Idol worship. And as it is written, for my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, to hew for themselves cisterns, broken cisterns. That's the 2nd chapter of Jeremiah. And it is written about the Jewish people, for pass over the isles of the Kittim and see, and send to Kedar and observe carefully, and see if there has been such a thing. Has a nation exchanged its gods, although they are not has a nation exchanged its gods, although they are no gods? For my people has exchanged its glory from that which it does not profit. That's also Jeremiah, 2nd chapter. Tana kutiim ovdim la'ish v'kedariim ovdim lamayim. Afal pi sheyodim she'amayim machabin et ha'esh lo hemiru Elohim. It is taught in a Braita with regard to this verse, the Kittites, the people of the Isles of Kittim, worship fire, and the people of Kedar worship water. And even though they know that water extinguishes fire, nevertheless they have not exchanged their God. But my people, God laments, my people have exchanged its glory from that which it does not profit. Amar le Rav Nachman Rabbi Yitzchak, my diktiv vayhi kasher zaken Shmuel, misiv Shmuel kulehai, v'habar 52 ava, v'amar mar met ב-52 shana, zeu mitato shel Shmuel haramati. Rav Nachman said to Rabbi Yitzchak, what is the meaning of that which is written? And it came to pass when Samuel was old. 1 Samuel chapter 8. And did Samuel really grow so old? But he was only 52 years old when he died. As the Master said in the Braita that deals with the divine punishment of karet, one who dies at the age of 52 years is not considered to have suffered the premature death of karet. In other words, if you live till 52, the serious sins requiring excision that you may have done have been forgiven. You didn't do them at all. It's a sign that you were clean in this respect. Like, for instance, eating leaven on Passover. It says you reach 52 years old, you never ate leaven on Passover. And even if you did, it was forgiven. So one who dies at the age of 52 years is not considered to have suffered karet. This is the age of the death of Samuel of Ramah. Shmuel Ramati, the prophet Samuel, he died at a relatively young age, but he'd also gone to a point at 52 where he was not culpable of karet anymore. Rabbi Pollack in Boston used to call karet early retirement. Go figure. Okay, Amar le Hachyama Rabbi Yochanan Zikna Kavtza Alav דכתיב, ניחמתי כי המלכתי את שאול. אמר לפניו ריבונו של עולם, שקלתני כמשה ואהרון. דכתיב, משה ואהרון בכהניו, ושמואל בקורא שמו. מה משה ואהרון לא בטלו מעשה ידיהם בחייהם, אף אני לא יתבטל מעשה ידי בחיי. Rabbi Yitzchak said to Rabbi Nachman that Rabbi Yochanan said as follows, old age sprang up upon Samuel, which caused him to appear older than his actual age. As it is written, I regret that I made Saul king. Samuel said before God, Master of the universe, you have considered me equivalent to Moses and Aaron. As it is written, Moses and Aaron are among his priests, and Samuel among those who call upon his name. Psalm 99. Just as with regards to Moses and Aaron, their handiwork was not annulled in their lifetimes, so too let my handiwork not be annulled in my lifetime. I anointed Saul, please do not annul his reign, said the prophet Samuel. The Holy One, blessed be He, Kadosh Baruch Hu, Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu, Hechi a'avid lemot Shaul, lo kashavek Shmuel limot Shmuel ad zutar, meranene avatre lo lemot Shaul velo lemot Shmuel. Kavar higia malchut David, ve'en malchut nogat b'chavarta afilu kimlo nima. This is very beautiful. The Holy One, blessed be He, said, what shall I do? Shall Saul die now? Samuel will not allow it. God says, Samuel's not going to allow Saul to die, so I can't kill him. As he had petitioned that Saul should not die, and the God listens to the prophet. Shall Samuel die young, with Saul passing away immediately afterwards, so Samuel wouldn't see Saul die in his lifetime? The people will murmur about him and wonder what transgression Samuel committed that caused his early demise or early retirement. Shall neither Saul nor Samuel die? The time of David's reign has already arrived, and one kingdom does not overlap with another and subtract from that time allotted to it even by a hair's breadth. Nima. Hair's breadth and nima is from the Greek word nema, meaning thread. So therefore, Marakadosh Baruch Hu, akpitz alav zikna hainu diktiv v'Shaul yoshev v'giva tachat ha'eshel barama v'kima inyan giva etzel rama ela lomar lacha ma garem l'Shaul sheyeshev b'giva shtei shanim umechza tfilato shel Shmuel haramati. Therefore the Holy One, blessed be He, said, I will spring old age upon him, and everyone will think that Shmuel is elderly. This is the meaning of the verse which says, and Saul dwelled in Giv'ah, Saul dwelled in Giv'ah under the tamarisk in Ramah. What does Giv'ah have to do with Ramah? These are two separate places. Rather, the verse comes to tell you what caused Saul to dwell in Giv'ah for 2.5 years. What caused Saul to dwell in Giv'ah for 2.5 years? It was the prayer of Shmuel Haramati from Ramah, next to Jerusalem. Umi midichi gavra mikame gavra in. Umi midichi gavra mikame gavra in. Amar Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani amar Rabbi Yochanan. Mai dichtiv al ken chatzavti baneviim haragtim be'imre fi. B'maaseim lo nemar ela be'imre fi. Alma midchi gavra mikame gavra. The Gemara asks, and is one man set aside before another man? In other words, is Samuel's life set aside simply because the time for David's reign had arrived? The Gemara says, yes. Rabbi Shmuel ben Nachmani said that Rabbi Yochanan said, what is the meaning of that which is written? Therefore I have hewn by the prophets, I have slain them by the word of my mouth. Hosea chapter 6 is not stated by their deeds, but it is not stated by their deeds, but rather by the words of my mouth, God's mouth. That is, God sometimes ends the life of an individual simply by virtue of decree. Apparently, one man is indeed set aside before another man. We have 1 minute to go. Rab Nachman v'Rabbi Yitzchak havu yatve b'su'udata. Amar le Rab Nachman le Rabbi Yitzchak alema mar milta. Amar le achi amar Rabbi Yochanan in mesichin b'suda shema yakdim kaneh leveshet v'yav en mesichin b'suda shema yakdim kaneh leveshet v'yavo lidei sakana. Nachman, they were eating a suda. Rab Nachman, Rabbi Yitzchak, and they asked to say the Devar Torah. Rab Nachman said that Rabbi Yitzchak said to Rab Nachman that Rabbi Yochanan said you don't eat during a meal because the esophagus will precede the trachea and you choke. Food is meant in the trachea, and when he speaks, his esophagus opens up and the food might enter there. Therefore, don't speak during a meal, unless you've swallowed your food and it's cool to speak. Very fast. Batar disud amarle hachi amar Rabbi Yochanan Yaakov Avinu lomet. Amarle v'ki bichti safadu saftanaya v'chantu chantaya v'kavru kabraya. Amarle mikra ani doresh ne'amar v'ata al tira avdi Yaakov ne'um Adonai. Al tira avdi Yaakov ne'um Adonai. Al techat Yisrael ki hinani moshiacha merachok vetzaracha me'eretz shivyam. Makishu lezaro, ma zaro b'chayim, afu b'chayim. After they had eaten, Rabbi Yitzchak said to Rabbi Nachman that Rabbi Yochanan said as follows: our patriarch Jacob did not die. Rabbi Nachman asked him in surprise, and was it not for naught that the eulogizer eulogized him, and the embalmers embalmed him, and the buriers buried him? If he's alive? Rabbi Yitzchak replied to Rabbi Nachman, I am interpreting a verse, as it is stated, therefore do not fear Jacob my servant, says the Lord. Neither be dismayed, Israel, for I will save you from afar, and your seed from the land of their captivity. Jeremiah 30th, finally, a little nechama, a little consolation for Jeremiah. This verse juxtaposed Jacob to his seed. Just as his seed is alive when redeemed, so too Jacob was alive. Our patriarch Jacob did not die. No, can't get into it. Okay, I'm going to go a little over now. I'm going to finish the daf, and then I'm going to go back and whatever. Ki havu mipatre mahadre amarle livarchan mar amarle amshol lecha mashal. Lama davar domeh le'adam shehaya holech b'midbar v'haya ra'eh v'ayef v'tzameh. Matza ilan sheperotav metukin. V'tzilu na'eh, v'amat hamayim overet tachtav. Achal miperotav, v'shata mimav, v'yashav b'tzilo. V'kesheyevakesh lelech amar, Yihilan, 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 b'hamei havarechecha. Yihilan, 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 b'hamei havarechecha. Im omer lecha sheyihu metukin, hare perotecha metukin, sheteh tzilcha na'eh, hare tzilcha na'eh, sheteh ata, amat hamayim overet tachtecha, hare amat hamayim overet tachtecha, ela yi ratzon shekol netiot shenotin mimcha, yu kamocha. Afata b'mei avarechecha, im b'torah hare torah, im ba'osher hare ba'osher, im b'vanim hare banim, ela yi ratzon shu tzetze'e me'echa kamotecha. The Gemara relates, when they were taking leave of one another, Rav Nachman said to Rabbi Yitzchak, Master, give us a blessing. Rabbi Yitzchak said to him, I will tell you a parable. To what is this matter comparable? It is comparable to one who was walking through a desert and who was hungry, tired, and thirsty, and he found a tree whose fruits were sweet, and whose shade was pleasant, and a stream of water flowed beneath it. And he ate from the fruits of the tree, drank from the water in the stream, and sat in the shade of the tree. And when he wished to leave, he said, Tree, tree, with what shall I bless you? If you say to you that your fruits should be sweet, your fruits are already sweet. And if I say to you, your shade should be pleasant, your shade is already pleasant. If I say that a stream of water should flow beneath you, the stream of water already flows beneath you. Rather, I will bless you as follows. May it be God's will that all saplings which they plant from you shall be like you. So it is with you, my dear host. What will I bless you? If I bless you with Torah, you already have Torah. If I bless you with wealth, you already have wealth. If I bless you with children, you already have children. Rather, may it be God's will that your offspring should be like you. God bless.